Yo, Grassroots Podcast, thank you for joining us again. Another episode 123, Chris. Chris didn't think I could remember it, but I remembered it, and I'm excited about it. Be sure to check us out. Grassroots Pod, and that's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Hit the notification button to be notified for our latest to the greatest episodes. We got a nice, dope show to get today. Erin is out, Nas is out. They pretty much told me to tell y'all that they don't care about the show. So y'all take it up with them in their DMs. We're here as a family, still rocking. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, we got a few cool people on today. One of the people you know, Bam, y'all have heard him. He does all of our artwork and stuff like that. So you guys will get a chance to hear his voice. I got my man Naji on from Rap Radar.
My God.
Always good to see him. And of course, y'all know who's on. He can go ahead and introduce himself as always. Yes, it's the consistency. The consistency.
You gotta stay consistent.
The same cadence, the same tone, the same everything. It's just that I am Wylson.
No trademark.
You're trademarking that? Okay. Oh, man. All right. So, I mean, let's jump right into it. Spotify is making some big moves, man. Big moves. So recently, they just signed a multi-million-dollar deal with the Obamas. Under the multi-million-dollar deal between Spotify and Higher Ground Productions, the former first couple's production company, Barack and Michelle Obama, are set to develop and produced lend their voices to select podcasts on a wide range of topics. The agreement is with Higher Ground Audio, a new division of the Higher Ground production company. I'm opening it up. What do y'all think? Do you want to hear the Obamas talk about podcasting? What do you think?
Are they actually going to do a podcast?
Well,
or they're just going to be overseeing?
I don't know. Well, it says Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are set to develop and produce and lend their voices. So when I read,
so they're going to be guests.
Yeah, they're going to be guests on their own shit, pretty much. So think of M being a guest on Shade 45. Right. In essence, how do we feel about that?
I think it's cool. I mean, I think we'll be able to get a little bit more in depth to, like Obama's presidency, some of the cool stuff he couldn't necessarily talk about. But I also think like him being outside of office now, he'll be able to do a lot more. And this might be the platform to kind of start some of those conversations, whether it be about race or politics or his personal thoughts that he hasn't been able to kind of put on Front Street due to him being, leader of the free world. Yeah.
What do you? I personally want to get to know like Obama. Like, I don't want presidential Obama. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I want to know about some nigger shit.
It's weird, though, because...
No?
Nah, absolutely. Like, I mean, the guy has literally seen and had access to everything, right? Like, all the shit that we don't know that's, like, happening behind the scenes. He's seen it. He knows it. So, like, hopefully we can get some sort of insight just, like, as Black Americans in particular, right? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. I would also like to hear his views on a lot of the shit that's happening. To Bam's point, like, there's mad stuff that happens in the world on a consistent basis, and you see him tweet little things here, or Michelle will post little things to let you know that they're paying attention. Yeah. But how do you really feel?
My only thing, how political is it going to be, though? Because, like, Obama to me is just Mr. Politics at all times, you know what I mean? So I need, like, nigga, what's up, Obama? Like, what we doing right now?
That's what I'm saying.
The program is going to be mad wholesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do you think so, though?
Snooze fest, man.
Do you think so? A snooze fest?
Snooze fest.
I can see that.
I don't know. Well, all right. I don't know if it would be a snooze fest. I could see it actually being really interesting. If you look at any of his interviews or even his speeches, the man knows how to captivate people. He knows how to take to you. He's a charming, he's a good-looking guy that has power and knows how to use it. That's a lot.
So you know how to use it? It's a little questionable.
I would like to think so.
When
have you ever seen Obama look whack? Think about it.
Nah, not look whack. No, I haven't look whack. Never.
Even when he hooping in his like dad.
Even when he
hoops,
sneakers, even when he hoops.
But I just mean from the standpoint of like when we look at the presidency of Obama, and this is just my POV. Like looking at the presidency, it's like obviously the fact of a black man attaining the highest position, that's one thing in itself, right?
Yeah,
like that breaks molds. That's something for people to aspire to. But when I look at the entire presidency, like actually what he did, I'm not that like impressed. So like for me, it's just like if the words and all that shit is cool, but like when it came down to actions, I wasn't really that impressed. So for the podcast, I'm just like my nigga, like what are we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is it real? Is it like?
Well, this is the thing. I think when you get into politics, and I think we got a few people that'll come on and talk more about this, but I think when you get into politics, you start to understand that every presidency or every person that holds that cabinet or whatever, they just inherit more and more bullshit. Like it's a constant cleanup job. Like you think about everything that's happening in office right now, even down to when Obama was still in office and Trump inherited a lot of that stuff, like that separation thing that was active in Obama's administration. He obviously was trying to stop it from what Trump is saying now, but I think that'll always be the case. I don't know that any president has ever had a clean slate in order to potentially do what they want to do, at least from a campaigning perspective. My only thing is, even when you talk about Obama, I would just like, to your point, I want to see him unfiltered. Like, that's, for me, that's the only way that it'll work. I think that if he's going to go and be presidential, and that's fine, but I think I like him in, like, doses. Like, it's almost like, I look at him like similar to like Andre 3000, like where you see Dre come drop a verse real quick and just dip,
right?
And it's just perfect timing. The cadence, everything is amazing. I feel like Obama does a great job of coming in at the right time and saying the right thing when he needs to, and then dipping. I don't know how it's gonna be with him now being a permanent fixture on a major platform where he now is going to lend his voice and his creative direction.
I think his formula should be what it has been all this time, just in the aspect of, like you were saying, like he pops up at the right times. He knows what to say at the right times.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I feel like post-presidency Obama, like I'm more interested in what he does outside of like his regular life. Like when he popped up at the Warriors game and he's like with Adam Silver. I'm like, yo, what y'all doing?
Yeah,
what y'all doing today? What y'all talking about? Like, I'm just kind of interested in that. Like,
yeah. So
I don't know, man. I want to hear some spice on it, man.
But what would be spice? That's what I'm saying. What is spice?
We need guests to a guest got to bring that out of him, because he's not gonna just volunteer that type of information. I need Nori to go up there and you know what I'm saying?
You need somebody
to go.
I want to know about him and Michelle's sex life. For one.
Why? Hold on, wait. Hold
for one, I want to know.
The Secret Service is right in this bitch now.
I also want to know.
Listen, thank you guys.
I want to know if he ever beat his kids.
It's been a great run. We appreciate y'all supporting us.
Wilson want to know about the Obama playlist.
Yeah, that's some sick shit. Why do you want to know about their sex life?
It's gonna be drones all over your house tomorrow.
Facts, like.
Why would you want to know about their sex life? Honestly,
you're not curious.
No,
you're not curious.
I just answered and said no.
I can understand if you're not curious about like Trump.
No, but I don't. Why would I care?
The Obamas, you're not curious?
How do you say no in Spanish?
Niggas moving to the White House.
This nigga just will not listen. No, I don't want to know. I'm more so curious. No, don't digress. I want to know. I want to know why you're you're captivated by these people's.
I'm a nigga.
Okay.
I get into the White House with my girl. I'm wilding. Okay.
That's a fact.
I'm wilding.
I feel you. I feel you.
So, Mr.
what
President,
do you
can you please go back in the room?
Yeah. What was going through their head that first time that they had to have sex in the White House?
They wanted to fuck, so they did in the White House.
That's what I want to know. I want to know about that. That's all I'm saying.
But why though? What will that do for you? That's spicy. You know that they're married. They've already had kids, so you know that they've already had sex. They've had relations.
Yeah.
What is the big mystery? The big unveiling?
There's stuff we don't know. But I want to know.
But that's called.
I want to know it.
That's called privacy. What you're talking about is invasion.
Hey, look, when I said this shit, I didn't have specifics.
Okay, all right. I'm rolling. Fair enough.
But I'm open to the possibilities of what they're into.
Fair enough. That's
what I'm saying.
I'm judging you in my head, but I won't say that. It's fine. So now Spotify did go on to say in 2019 that they expect to invest over $400 million to $500 million in podcasting. That's great news. I think that number one, Spotify has the bag. Let's be clear. Spotify has the bag. Listen, that's first and foremost. Number two, I like how Spotify is doing. I always felt like Apple should have did this. How people are so connected to Apple and so vested into those products. Why they never really went and got and dove into just media or podcasting, I'll never know. But I think Spotify is making some really, really smart moves. And we had a conversation in the chat about it, which I wanted to pose a question I thought was interesting. Do you think that that Joe's podcast is what ushered in or made things like this happen or possible?
I can't really say that. I think Joe is a beneficiary of just the podcast wave. To me, like even somebody like Taxstone, you know, when he kind of started, you know, doing it, he was the first person I kind of seen from a podcast standpoint, like doing live shows and like sort of taking things to the next level and just monetizing it at a different pace. You know what I'm saying? And just as things kind of happen, everybody's jumping on the wave. Like you said, Spotify got the bag, we chasing the bag. You know what I'm saying?
So
yeah, Tax has like a pretty cult following too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a couple. I would say Tax, Joe. Are kind of like the forerunners.
It's probably a
Shout out to the
group of
Rap
people,
Radar podcast.
Yeah, Rap Radar. No, definitely.
Elliot B.
Yeah,
Dot, you know what I'm
Elliot B.
saying?
Dot, yeah, definitely. I think it's a few people that paved the way to make shit like possible.
Combat Jack, rest in peace.
Oh well, yeah, you can't. Yeah, well, but that's not to discredit other platforms. I'm talking about just Spotify. Like the success that Joe's having with his show, I wonder if now that's opened them up to the Matrix, and now they're being more susceptible and more open to, all right, like this could be the new thing. I think that what they're doing is I mean, outside of it just being genius and good, smart business moves, I think they're trying to stay ahead of the curve and then now creating a new curve with what they're doing. Like, when would you ever even thought that you would hear a president on a podcast? Like, really think about it.
Yo, it's really insane, and just like the idea that, well, one, I think it's just great for Black culture that like people have to acknowledge what we're doing, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, it's here. Like it's global culture.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, and I think that just when we are all in a space and we able to talk shit freely, you know what I mean? It's a track that we want to listen to it. This barbershop talk on the global level. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. I think that type of access is amazing, son. Like, as creatives, think about it. As creatives, we kind of hide out here in the streets. Like, when you really think about it,
sure.
Like, people check for what you're saying and how you're saying it and how you're giving it up. And I think to have somebody that we all admire as just being someone that made it, like, and not like he's the person that you look at and be like, yo, like, when you're in school and you're a kid and you're like, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. Or you have someone else that Jerry says, no, I'm going to rob people. And then you have the one guy that says, no, I'm going to be the president. And it's like, all right, get the fuck out of here. Jerry, listen, Jerry, you're not doing it. Just stop it, Jerry. It's not happening. And he winds up going and do it. I think that's ill. And I think I'm curious to see what it looks like and how the presentation is. I'm really, really curious. And I want to see their creative side. Because I don't know them, at least during this campaign, them campaigning and being in office, I didn't know them to be creative in this type of space. Now, mind you, I know that Michelle's done the little docs and they've done press. I'm sure they know or maybe have an idea. But to see them have like a creative influence on a platform like that is going to be extremely interesting to me.
I just hope it's real, man. Like my man Wylson was saying, it's just I feel like Snooze Fest just because like I don't think I've ever felt, I don't want to say a realness from Obama, but just like not being PC. Yeah. I feel like I kind of get that from Michelle a little bit. Like Michelle, she even got memes that I know. Like she's real. Like I can see from this gift that she's real. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like I don't know. I just don't want to be PC to death.
You don't want to be let down. You have a. I think we all have this standard.
I got a feeling it's not going to be for us.
Who would it be for though?
It's going to be.
But think about it. If check this out, and this is what I thought about too. If it's not for us, why would it be on Spotify? Forget the bag. He could go any place and get a bag. He could do a TED Talk. He could go to any platform he wants and get a bag.
It's going to be for the same.
He could do a CNET podcast.
It's going to be for like the same demographic.
Well, yeah, that's something. Yeah, between the production deal and the show deal, what is the end game?
I think they want that crowd that watches like daytime TV, like Ellen, the Today Show, like that type of demographic.
Between Spotify and Netflix, that's like all of us though.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking about think about who Spotify really caters to from an audience perspective. Yeah. They're not catering to like our parents and like they're not catering to that. They catering to young people. They're catering.
Not, but that's why they bring in the Obamas. The Obamas ain't gonna do nothing crazy.
So you think it's kind of like a change in?
I don't know. Michelle might curse somebody out though.
Yeah, I don't put it past her.
Michelle,
I don't put it past her.
I could hear her say nigga maybe once.
Yeah, maybe.
That might slip out.
Possibly.
That would shake the. I would love that too.
Obama definitely says nigga.
You think so?
In the crib,
come on.
Yeah.
He smokes Lucy's, my nigga. The president buying Lucy's in the corner store.
I can imagine that.
He lets it fly all the time.
But how do you know that though?
Come on.
Come on. He said, come on.
You see the man's swag. He's definitely saying.
But you see his swag just because he's very prestigious. He carries himself in a certain type of manner that garners that.
I have to hear that though, because I don't want to hear like the presidential way, like my niggas.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I don't need to. Maybe it's me. I don't know that I want to hear him say it. I don't want. Well, listen. niggers out here, we're all trying to, make it better, different. Like, I don't know that I want to hear him say
like
it.
that.
I'm cool with Michelle.
Right.
I'm cool.
You pulled that. You went in your bag for that one.
I do impressions.
That was
I'm
good.
here all week.
That was good.
I'm here all week.
Spotify, what's up?
Spotify, if you're listening, I'm here. President, run. But all jokes aside, though, I don't know that I want to hear him say that, because in the same token, I do look at it like, all right, this is one of those times where it could be looked at, all right, we want him to fail. We want him to go get this platform. And, listen.
Nobody wants Obama to fail, man.
Are you crazy?
Aside from supremacists.
Everyone
else loves
Everything we've been battling for centuries, just those people.
Yeah.
Outside of those folks.
Everybody else for Obama.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah.
Nobody wants him to fail.
Well, there's black folks that ain't for Obama. I think that's that's normal. I just don't want it to go. I don't want him to go, and I doubt it. He wouldn't go up there and make a fool of himself. But I don't want him to go up there and try to go be extra, and then think he's trying to. I guess I don't want him to recreate the wheel. I guess is what I think I'm
I
trying.
wonder how much they're getting paid for this.
That's the real question.
Yeah, that's the real Spotify.
It's a
real question.
Spotify, reach out to us. I need that. All right, so let's move on. So following up, well, not even following up, I should say. I know I think we mentioned this, well, maybe we didn't. But so Central Park 5, Ava DuVernay. First off, shout out to her. Round of applause for her. Like,
shout out to Ava.
You want to talk about people that are using their platforms to enrich us as a culture, and doing so in such a classy way. I think it's brilliant. So shout out to her. Recently on Netflix, obviously, for you guys that aren't aware, When They See Us just aired. Now, this is a conversation, more of a conversation that they've had throughout years about the Central Park 5. So if you guys are unaware of what happened, so pretty much the series deals with a 28-year-old white woman, Trisha Melly, jogging through Central Park in 1989 when she was brutally beaten and raped in north area of Central Park. 5 young black teenagers, Kevin Richardson, Raymond Santana, Yusef Salam, Antron McCrae, and Corey Wise were wrongly accused and prosecuted, spending 6 to 13 years in prison. The real rapist, Matitas Reyes, was arrested in 2001 and confessed to the crimes after that. Now, the woman, Linda Ferenstein, who everyone hates right now, rightfully so, I don't even know how she slipped under the radar this long. Yeah. But I want to get into that, too, because I think it's interesting. But she now, again, I think she went and reinvented herself. She went to go publish books where now us as the people, we've now boycotted, and that she's been let go for that. But I want to first circle back to these young men. I'm going to be really open, honest, and transparent. I could not get past the second episode.
Why?
For me, I have a hard time dealing with things like this. I have a hard time dealing with things like this, particularly, one, because you have people that are going through something, and to visually see that, and it's always like a constant dig. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it just does something for me. And I know we talked about this before, but I feel like as I get older and older, things just hit me different and different. I see the impact. I see... Like, like when you get older and you hear about your friends get locked up or you in shootouts or whatever the case may be, right? And I don't think it really impacts you as you're a young kid, because I always say, like, when you're young, you're in this fantasy world, right? It's only when you're an adult when life starts to suck, because you start to have to care about things, right?
Yeah.
So as that happens, you start to see these young boys literally not knowing what to do, what to say, how to handle it. They know that they didn't do anything, but again, they're being pitted against the the system, and to be made an example of, and then seeing them cry and seeing like family members not being there, not knowing what to do, and then seeing this dude, what's his name, the father that was convincing him to take the deal. I can't think of his name right now. Antron's father. Yeah. Watching him, like. I'm talking or thinking about just generational knowledge not being passed on, to where the father is saying, "Oh no, you have to take this deal. Don't you realize they're gonna kill us all? They're gonna lock us all up." Like, not knowing your rights is what I got from this. Above all, not knowing your rights is important. It's important.
Yeah.
But then obviously the caveat is what was done to them boys.
Yeah.
I don't even think, even with the settlement, because we talked about it in pre-production, I don't even think with the settlement, they'll never be normal. They'll never, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll never be able to function.
I mean, you can't. I mean, it's trivial to say because I always like, we have questions like this, like, yo, would you sit in jail for 7 years and when you come home you get X amount of money, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like that's literally sort of what happened. But the thing is when you're in there, knowing that you didn't do this crime, right? Like you had no idea what's going on. Everyone's just kind of telling you. And mind you, like, we're watching this now in 2019, but like at this time, this was the biggest fucking story.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
everyone hated these kids.
Yeah.
Everybody hated these kids. And you're going to jail as a rapist, right? That's different than just going to jail. Like
for
just going to jail
petty crime
is one
like,
thing, but like
that's
going to jail and they know you like as a rapist,
Yeah,
that's a
buddy.
totally different experience, man.
Yeah.
That's a total different scene in jail. That's a total different jumpsuit. That's a total different tier. That's a total different audience you got to now deal with in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel him. I feel him just because God only knows what they went through at such a young age. Like even the one kid was they made him say he was 16.
Yeah.
Like he
Which
kept
is-
saying,
which
"Well,
is
no,
crazy.
I'm really 15. I can't." Well, you're gonna be 16 in a few months. Yeah. All right. Well, you're 16 then.
I
Yeah.
think
Like
the-
crazy.
The thing about this in particular, and you watch like If Bill Street Can Talk, if you watch like a ton of other movies that deal with black men getting into these situations, the thing that really frustrates me is we're so quick to treat black boys like they're grown men, like, and put them in these situations where we don't give them the benefit of the doubt. We, this is what you did, and we're gonna lock you away and throw away the key.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even Khalif, like that whole story, like that
Yeah.
broke me to pieces off the strength of
Yeah.
like, not only do you lose your freedom, but you go into a zoo and then you're innocent on top of it. You go into a zoo and these people break you down mentally, physically, and like you just come out and like that's the thing, like with these settlements, like how many times we seen like dudes, oh yeah, they served 60 years in jail and
Yeah.
come out because you was found innocent. Here goes $67 million. Like that don't replace them birthdays I missed. That don't replace the graduation.
That don't replace the psyche.
the psyche. Yeah, like I'm a completely different bull.
Like
It's
I know,
crazy.
I think everyone got a homie or something that was locked up or whatever. And you see him, and you can just see there's a difference.
My man just got out from a 6-year bid 2 weeks ago, and he's still the same. He's still the same, but like you could just tell the mannerisms are different. Like
Yeah.
just a little.
Yeah.
You can't just walk up like
he's a little
everything's a little different. Yeah, a little paranoid. You see,
It's the watch behind your back. It's the
You know what I'm saying?
why you moving like that. You
that
just
shit
see it.
institutionalize you
Yeah,
for real. But
it
then,
does.
like, there's also just the aspect of these kids. They went through a lot as individuals, but this is a systemic issue, right? Like when you watch the entirety of the documentary, like I watched all 4 parts, and it's less about these specific kids and more about the idea that we want somebody to pay for this crime that's black.
Yeah.
That's what it was all about, like from the beginning, from the higher ups to the lady that everybody hates that you said. It's just like, yo, I don't give a fuck who y'all put in jail. Somebody got to go to jail. This white lady was raped, and somebody needs to go to jail for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks because it's devastating from all sides. Like even with the lady that's happened to, like it's terrible that even happened. And then it's a whole other dude that was responsible for said crime. You know what I mean?
So that was the other thing, and I think it's kind of fucked up. And I don't think I feel like it's fucked up. Is that no one ever? I'm happy, obviously, that the guys got justice. You know what I'm saying? Like it's my people, right? But the difference is I didn't see many people showing some sort of remorse or some sort of concern for the woman that got raped. Like people aren't talking about that. It's just them boys was charged wrong or whatever. Like I think we should show her some love too. Like let's start with the fact that this whole situation started with this young woman being raped in the park against her will. Like that, it's horrible. So I think I just thought that it was a miss.
Well, quick question about that, because one dude did it. At no point she said, "I didn't get raped by 5 people."
Well,
Yeah, so she was knocked unconscious, right? So she had a coma. She was in a coma.
Yeah.
And when she got out the coma, it was like she didn't remember anything. She couldn't remember. According to the story, it was she
According to the
couldn't
story,
remember what it was.
Yeah.
But my thing is, and what makes it a little weird for me in terms of like praising the rape victim is just that
not praising.
I don't say praising,
not
but I don't even say
praising.
praising, but acknowledging in that side, right?
Yeah.
But my thing is that she, even throughout the course of all of this, what she went through is horrible. Any woman that goes through rape, I can empathize with that, right?
Yeah.
But I think that when it was found out that these boys were not the perpetrators. They did not. She didn't reach out. She never, like, Ava DuVernay tried to reach out to her to speak in this document, to play a part in this.
Yeah.
She didn't. Yeah. So it's like she kind of distanced herself, and they said that she's cool with some of the detectives and the cops that were, you know, doing the case. And the woman, I forget the DA's name that everybody hates, like, they cool. But for me, it's just like, that's the supremacy that's the supremacist attitudes that we see that are being embodied by these people. Is just like, how do you not reach out to these boys knowing, like, yo, they...
Yeah. So here's my devil's advocate for that, right? Let's say it's traumatic. Let's say maybe she couldn't deal with it. Like,
it wasn't that they couldn't deal. It's traumatic for them too.
It is, but you got to think about it. At the end of the day, it's traumatic. This woman was raped. Like, that's a horrible thing for a woman to experience. Like, I feel like, and it could be insensitive, and if it is, I don't mean to offend anybody. I feel like if a guy gets raped, we can kind of deal with it, and obviously by a woman, I'm saying, not by you get what I mean. Like, I'm not saying by a man on man. Obviously, that's a whole nother thing. I'm talking about there are instances where obviously older women have in essence, raped younger boys, right? I think that guys can kind of get over it. Does the mentality and how they engage women change? I'm certain it does. I don't have an experience, but I would assume so. How you look at sex, how you treat sex, how you treat women. But for a woman, it's different. You know, it's obviously, it's a little bit more traumatic, I think, and it's a number of things. And I think to have to keep reliving that and to have to keep acknowledging it now, on top of the fact that, all right, I thought I at least had some peace and I have some solace knowing that these boys are behind bars, to only then find out that, all right, the people that I am cool with, the DA lady, the cops, and all these other people, they lied to me. So now I still don't have the peace that I thought I would get, and the person that really did it is still out there. Obviously, before 2001, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting myself in her shoes.
I mean, so the crux of the story, like where shit went crazy at the end, was the guy Michael Wise, right? Like, that was the guy who did the most time. Oh, excuse me, Corey Wise. He did the most time.
He did 13 years, right?
Yeah, I think 13, 14 years.
14,
he was in jail with the guy that actually did the rape.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But didn't know. He didn't know, right? So, like, they had interaction, and it was 2 different jails. There was one jail where they had a fight, actually, and this is all based on, this is real life. This is actually depicted from what really happened. So they had a fight at one jail, then they went to another jail like years later, 10 years later, something like that, and they met back up. And I guess at this point, this guy had found God or whatever the case is, and he tried to, like, reconcile, and then he wound up feeling so guilty that, like, yo, he told, like, yo, you know, this guy's in here for no reason. I'm the one that did the rape. But for me, it's like, as this woman, and I can't take away from the experience of rape. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that feels like. So I won't try to take away. But I understand that also, like, when you look deeper into the story, like, the Corey Wise was raped as well in jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, these kids went through hell in here for something that they did not do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, it's just like, for you to not acknowledge that it just feels weird to me that you don't even acknowledge, like, not that you did anything wrong, but there's no acknowledgement at all. Like, just whatever.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
So
I mean, again, it's like
this joint happened what, in 1989?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no rape kits back then, I'm assuming.
There was a rape kit. They didn't have any. The
No
DNA
DNA.
was only from the one guy who did it.
Yeah.
But they didn't catch him. So there was no DNA. They
So it
still
didn't
went to
match
jail.
none of the kids.
Yeah,
None of that.
Still
But
active.
at that point, to Naji's point, I have who I want. I have who I want. I know who I plan to put on trial. I don't care about anything else. We'll make it stick. We'll make it work. Let's make it work.
How scary is that, though? Right? Like, think about that. Like, if you didn't do anything, but we want you here, you're here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it.
It doesn't matter. I don't care what
Yeah.
happened.
Oh, no,
I don't
that's
care.
it.
If we want you here, there's no DNA. They said the guy, like, she had all of these bruises, and they had a fight, and they said he
And then
scratched.
she had nails.
Nothing.
I mean, she had a skin under her nails, and they didn't even go to test
With
them.
none of them.
None of it. So I mean,
crazy.
but I thought about that too. That's why for me the biggest thing across the board with everyone is psyche. Like, you know what that's like being 15, and I can't imagine, but being 15 in Rikers, and you got charged for rape,
Like,
and you're in tears with, like, you know, like, real rapists, like real murderers, like, and you just a little kid, like. You'll never be the same. I can't ever imagine you being the same.
Did Trump apologize?
No.
For his death penalty.
No, but
campaign.
again, that's why I mean that's y'all president, man. Like I'm cool. Like, and I know I know that those were old tweets. I know that those are old tweets, but Lord, to your point, you can't make that up.
Nah, he spent money to place an ad.
Place ads at that time. He put
No. I know that. I know that. I'm just saying, but I'm saying that tweet coming out when it did, right after that, somebody going and saying, "Hey, let me see what was happening here," and to find that, and then even the exchange with the woman fan that he's talking to, like. They made their minds up. Like, they made their minds up. And because of that, that's why it happened the way it did. But I thought about something, like, I don't even know how to phrase it. Like, how do you get back to you? Like, do you think that there's ever a path to you? Like, obviously therapy, things like that. Like, how do you even get back to being who you are? Or do you even know who you are at that point, considering you're 15, 16 getting locked up, and now you're an adult coming out? I don't know.
They got a lot of cash now, though.
I mean, but I think
they help a little bit.
You got to do a personal rebirth almost. A lot of people who go through very, heavy or stressful situations.
But that's my point. That personal rebirth, what does that look like? Because you 15, you don't know who you are?
Yeah, I mean, but when you come home and you meet your family again, you know what I'm saying? Like my uncle, he did a bunch of bids. Like, he, like, you to your homie's point, like he was a little different and stuff. What helped him kind of deal with the things that he would see and deal with in prison was the fact that when he came home to his family, like, we just reassured him, like, nah, you home now. Like, I'm your nephew. Like, you gotta find me. Like, ain't nobody coming in here and different stuff like that. But part of his own journey was just reconnecting where the places he had been, the people he had seen, and kind of hearing those stories about yourself and different things. Like, those little pieces help a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people who deal with, like, PTSD and stuff, like, that's the type of stuff they need.
So you think rebirth can happen?
Definitely.
As long as I guess the environment or the
I don't know. I kind of feel I don't necessarily look at it in that sense of rebirth. I feel like this is now forever a part of your story. I don't think there's ever any like getting away from it, ever like ridding that. Like, it's unjust, it's unfair, but this is now a part of your life that you will have to deal with. Whether you come to terms with it or not, that's, up to you and your mentality. Yeah. But you have to deal with it in the sense that, like, we're just looking at it from the standpoint of, like, yo, these kids went to jail. What happened in jail is fucked up, right? Cool. I don't want to say cool. That's not cool. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Like, that's one point. All right. You get out of jail. You just lost 7 years, right? You got no place. Yeah. You don't got no money. You got a felony on your record. Yeah. Everyone's still looking at, because mind you, they got out. They didn't know that they was innocent at this point, so everyone's still looking at you like, oh, that's the rape. That's the rapist. That's it. Yeah. Your whole life is ruined,
but that's
bro.
The other thing too, though, because we talked about this, right? It's almost like when you make those allegations, like when it'll say, I don't know, somebody, some guy beat another woman or something. I don't know, right? But you know how, like, even when those things are proven to be wrong in a court of law with all documentation, the person that is accused and the accusee can go on to be whatever, but the accused, even though having proven it and having backed up that obviously information was falsified, that stain is still there.
Absolutely.
Just the point of it being said, I wonder if for these gentlemen, and I know this may sound stupid, but I wonder even if for them, if people still look at them like they are rapists or things of that nature, just because you gotta factor in ignorance. Not everyone knows that story. Not everyone saw that documentary. I'm sure it's obviously trending now, but I wonder for how long. Even now, I wonder if they still are even dealing with that. Like, yo,
I mean, there's some people probably who still like feel like in '89, like that's what happened.
Yeah, right.
Regardless.
Yeah, regardless of anything,
out,
right? That's
what
I'm wondering.
You know what I mean, that sucks.
Well, that white DA, she still maintains to this day that they're guilty, right? And that there was like
she's a clown,
a sixth guy, right? Yeah. The other guy was just the sixth guy in the story and not a sole person. But the other point that it makes me think of is just like the idea that this culture we're in today, right? Like cancel culture and everything we're in today is just like, it's an accusation equals you did it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's not even like, it's not about the evidence. It's not about like, we wait to find out. If somebody comes out and says, yo, you did it. This person did something, everyone's going to convict you in their mind. Yeah. And that's wrong, man. We got to stop that. And I mean, this is a prime example of why that is wrong, right? But it's just like, I think that's where, as a society, is just accepting like, yo, somebody said something, it must be true. Yeah. I wonder, I just wonder what would bring somebody peace at night.
and then even for her, like I wonder what helps her sleep at night. Like all of those crooked cops, those DAs, what helps them that like sending 15-year-old little kids to jail? I wonder what helps them sleep.
I think they all sleep like babies.
Right?
Yeah.
Probably. You gotta be.
The fact that they can even do that.
Yeah, you got to be a different type of person to let that rock for.
They don't look
years.
back.
First of all, she wrote about 4 or 5 books. She's cashed out already. She think she give a fuck. This lady, she don't give. She don't care. She done wrote books.
Apparently, she inspired SVU.
Yes, like crazy.
Wait,
I still got watched that.
Wait, she did what?
Good.
She's like
she inspired
the inspiration for like SVU.
Oh yeah. I read that. Because I honestly, when this case came out, I just remember about the young kids, and I remember hearing about her. But again, when you were young, I'm not paying her no mind of when it is. I just remember it happening. Yeah. Only thing I remember is being a kid and watching it on the news and seeing kids cry or whatever and all that good stuff, and then. I never really thought about it, which is unfortunate, I guess. But I guess you're kind of trained to be like that because life goes on, I guess. So as life goes on for them, they still kind of just baking. But Lord,
I definitely I just wanted to make my last point with what you said earlier, which is just the ignorance of not knowing your rights and knowing the law. That's so fucking important for us as black people, just understanding the systemic things that are around us and put in place. We have to be able to know what we can do, what we can't do. Like these people had their parents in the room and were still writing statements, lying on themselves with their parents there. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, and I'm just looking at it, I'm like, there's no way I would be letting my kids sit here admitting it. I'm wilding out in that fucking police station. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Legal literacy is very important.
Facts.
Yeah.
Very important. One of the things I like about one of the things I like that's happening on social media right now is there are like threads. I don't know if y'all seen it on Instagram. Somebody, I think they were like an ex-cop or something, and they were giving tips to women about like how rapists like pursue women and things you can do to kind of like avoid that type of situation. Any thread I see like that, I will share. I will repost. I mean, you can Google anything, but like we spend so much time on these social media networks. I see something about, okay, if you get pulled over, let's like it. Let's favorite that whole thread. I send it to all my homies. Like, in case you get pulled over, this is what you need to do. Yeah. Because, like, they keep it from us. Like,
well, that was the thing that I liked to Naji's last one. This is my last one. We'll move on. I know we're beating a dead horse here. But I just thought that there were so many ways we could attack this, right? But even still, the cancel culture for me was important. Just because I do feel like the culture that we're in now, and I know that there's times where people rush to go cancel people, but I think this is the one time where people got it right. They looked at something, did their research, started pulling facts, started pulling everything, and was just kind of like, all right, no. Like, this ain't going to fly. We got to get her out of here. So kudos to the cancel culture. I don't know who's on the board of trustees or committee, but shout out to y'all.
Get her out of here.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all.
Thanks.
All right, so let's talk about Hove.
Man.
Hove.
lucky lefty.
Lucky lefty.
Man.
Jesus
Billionaire
Christ.
status. Billionaire status.
This guy's from the projects, man.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
did y'all see that picture that was floating around where they showed Hove where he first tried to get the record deal or whatever, and he had the gold teeth, and he just looked straight hood, straight gutter, and they're like, you'll never. They told him he'd never make it. Yeah. Billionaire.
It's amazing.
Billionaire.
Amazing.
Is this an example of like how people should be diversifying? Like you think about what Hove's investments are. You think about him as an artist. You think about him as an entrepreneur. You think about him as even now being a parent and a husband. I guess let's talk a little bit about that. Like, what do y'all think? Is it because it's him at that point, or is it because legitimately just the business moves that he makes on top of the business moves that he makes? Because I do pay attention to the line. I believe it to be where he says, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman." Like you do look at him like as both, and I wonder if because he's a businessman, you look at him as a business, him as an entity as himself. I wonder if that is what also ushers him in, or is it just because he's really really good at business and he's able to flip?
I mean, I grew up around hustlers, right? So just understanding that Jay came into the game as a hustler, not a rapper, right? Like he came into this motherfucker 100 grand strong. You know what I'm saying, right? So like this is the guy, like since his inception, since I've started like listening to Jay, it's always been about how to capitalize just on his brand and on the moves. In every aspect, right? I smartened up, opened the market up. Whoever told him that Hove would sell clothing, right? Like he didn't come in thinking like, yo, I'm about to sell clothes and I'm about to do this, but it's just like when you get to a point point, just, you know, in your business acumen and understanding the power of your brand, and you get to certain levels, I think that just opens the doors for so many opportunities. And I feel like Hov just took the baton and just never dropped it, like
ever.
Just ever, ever.
Well, I think he took the baton and recreated the baton. Like, that's what I think. Like, I think he's the one act that you can really say that he's a generational rapper. Like, he's changed throughout the course of decade after decade of just giving you bits of him, I think, and his growth. You know, you got Hov the hustler, then you have Hov the businessman, then you have Hov the actual rapper, then you have Hov the lyricist that wants to exchange a little bit, then you have Hov that's like, yo, you know, I'm mature now. Y'all need to grow up too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
He's always tried to guide us, in at least from a culture perspective. He's always tried to guide us in a way where we would get it. And most recently, obviously, story of OJ. Like, that for me is crucial. Even the Dumbo thing, it sticks out to me forever.
Absolutely.
Like, it's him realizing, yo, I should have done something. Hey, you guys should start thinking about stuff like this. I messed up. Now I feel stupid. Like, it's things like that I think that he'll continuously keep trying to instill in people. And I just think at some point we probably should start paying attention. Like, it's rare to see somebody coming from where he's come from do what he's doing and be where he's at right now.
Yeah, I think he, you know, like you said, even on the 444 J, where, you know, he says financial freedom my only hope. You know what I mean? And that stuck out to me so much so because it was just like, it's not just about like personal, right? Like, but in terms of being able to be free, like freedom. That's what we all, like, I think that's what money allows, right? Is it gives you access to be free, right? You have the ability to do what you want to do more so than, you know, if you don't have money, right? So the idea that as a community, financially, we're able to free ourselves, right? Until you own your own, you can't be free. That's what Hov is preaching. Like, so from that standpoint, it's just like, yo, as a people, as a culture, if we want to be able to do that and get to these places, it's financial freedom, dog.
Well, that's the thing that, I'll be honest, made me extremely depressed. It made me extremely depressed. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Number one, I look at all that Hov has accomplished, right? So let's run down some accolades here. And obviously, I'm not going to compare my life to Hov, but I'm just saying what it took for him to even get here. And he's still saying, yo, my only hope is financial freedom. And if I'm keeping it a buck, I'm certain he's been a billionaire for quite some time. I just think that he's coming out now and saying it publicly for Forbes. I don't know why, but I'm sure that that's a good business move. But let's talk about it, right? So 14 #1 albums, 22 Grammy Awards, and over $500 million in pre-tax earnings, according to Forbes. Jay and Beyonce have a combined net worth of $1.4 billion. After the announcement of billionaire status, Hov's Marcy Venture Partners recently led a $1 million investment into Partake Foods, a 3-year-old New Jersey. I just want to let's stop Jersey. That's what I, you know what I mean? Jersey. Hov, baby, Hov, Jersey. You know. Anyway, so he doesn't know, but you got to say he knows because he did Jersey. Whatever. So anyway, $1 billion investment in Partake Foods, a 3-year-old New Jersey-based company. I think. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of the proof is in the pudding, but I was depressed because it's like for him to still have accomplished so many different things, Rockaware, Rockefeller, his music career, obviously his children, his wife, even just down to Rock Nation, like just everything that he's doing, he himself could literally do whatever he wants to us. But for him, he's still saying, yeah, dog, I'm not free yet.
You know what? It's levels, though. Yeah. It's levels to this shit. And I get that from like when Kanye used to go on his crazy rants and he's just like, yo, who's going to be the Medici family and open up the door for me so I can create, right? Kanye's worth 60, 70 million, 100 million at this point, and he's still like, I'm being blocked. I can't do certain things. A guy that has 100 million talking about he can't do certain things, that just lets me know, like, at every level, there's always a white guy just laughing at you, like, you think that's money?
Well, that's the other thing, it's
at every level.
Even though when Kanye was going on them rants, I understood what he was saying. He made a lot of sense. Like, even with the whole, that whole Sway shit, very popular. Obviously, him flipping out on Sway, but I got his frustration. It was real. It's like, yo, I get what you're saying. I'm famous. I am who I am. Yes, I have money, but I don't have that money. Right. I don't have that access. Like y'all not letting me in. Like, just give. I'm trying to add something here. Sure. Y'all got to let me in. So I think that I think looking back on it, I'll say, how we looked at it as being crazy. I just think Kanye just struggles with execution because he's all over the place because he's a creative. I think that can be said for any person. You know what I'm saying? There are other people, obviously like a Hove, that's a little bit more polished and that can hit you with a point, or you won't catch something until later on after it's 2 years from now. It's like, oh my God, that's what he meant. Kanye is just a little rough around the edges, but his point is valid. There is access, to your point. There's a different level of access when you think of money, notoriety, star, and just overall power in entertainment. And
you need people to invest in you.
Well, you need someone to trust you.
Not if you have $1 billion, though.
That's true, but I don't think the rich even want to spend their own money.
That's a fact, too.
Well, no. What I'm learning just from speaking with rich people is the key to being rich and staying rich is, you have to spend some money. You have to spend money. Because regardless of anything, the moment, and this is for young people, because I'm learning a lot about financial literacy. I'm learning about investments and how to move money legally, obviously. Gotta say that.
Gotta say the other stuff is off camera. We can't talk about that.
I'm not talking about my off-share accounts. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about legally. But you have to spend money. That's why you see people. I was told by someone that's very wealthy that, the moment you're on a radar for IRS, you're on the radar, and they're gonna let you know. They're gonna send you something saying, hey Naj, rap radar, huh? Famous guy, right?
I'm broke, baby.
Yeah, famous guy,
I'm
right?
broke, baby.
Hey, listen, this is what they say you're worth now.
Right.
I'm gonna need mine, fam. I'm gonna need mine.
Broke, baby.
I'm gonna need mine.
Right.
Like, that's what they do, and obviously to offset that, you have to buy things. You need to be able to write off assets. You need to be able to liquidate things in order to stay in an even keel. Because again, you get hit quarterly.
Sure.
Or it's you get hit quarterly. You get hit quarterly with doing that, and even with being hit quarterly, they want theirs. That's the payment plan.
Right.
They want whatever that lump sum of money is. They want that on time.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you just a quick story. Yo, like how much being a billionaire I feel like just feels, right? This is just a quick glimpse into billionaire life, right? I used to intern at Rock Nation, right? So
hold on, ladies and gentlemen, that's a collar pop. His name is Naji. I want to be clear.
I just gotta set it up so you understand.
He is dropping industries. Not even. And I'm just letting y'all know
relevant to the story. It's just relevant to the story.
That's not how we give it up. He's doing it, ladies. I just want to say that. I'm still broke, baby. I'm broke. I just want to say that.
Look, no, it's relevant to the story. That's the only reason I mentioned it. So I say that to say is, like, I've had interaction with Jay before, right?
Hold on. See what I'm saying? You see what
I'm not. I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to this.
Yo, I should tell y'all my. All right, after this, I'm gonna tell you. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all my whole story. Y'all gonna laugh at me, but I don't care.
Yo, not even flex. So, like, B-Dot's cool with Hove. B-Dot, that's my man. So you know, we've been around. I've been around. Spoke to him the other day. Rock Nation just moved offices, so I was there, and Hove is like walking out the building. And, like, we see each other. B-Dot's with me. So he's like, oh, what up? So we all just kind of start talking real quick, like right in front of the office.
You just casually started talking to Hove.
Casually, right? Super casual.
You're sitting on this.
But hold up. Now listen. This is where I knew.
Hold on. Are you going to invoice me? I need to know.
I'm just a guest host. So
listen. I'm gonna tell you how real it is. It was like, he was like, yo, what's up? He was just like, yo, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, yo, I'm chilling, regular shit, whatever. How you doing? And he was just like, I'm great. But the way he said it, I was like, I've never felt great like that. It was the way. I'm great.
Yo, fam.
And I was just like, usually when people are like, yo, how you doing? I'm like, cool. I never just looked a nigga in his eyes like, I'm great.
And you can see.
I was like, oh,
it's almost like you can see like the twinkle in niggas' eye, like in the movies. It's like,
dog, it would hurt me so bad. I'm like, I need $1 billion so I can be great.
So I want to feel like that.
I just want to be great. And that's what I just felt that. I just had to share that.
My whole story isn't as cool. This was a few years ago. I'll never forget this. We were at Lucky Stripe in the city. It's me, Joe, and Maul. Me, Joe, Maul, and somebody else. So we're leaving now.
That's a flex button too. Joe is hot right now. We're not gonna let that slide. Right? Joe's very hot right now. He's on Spotify. Spotify deal coming soon. I'm just saying.
Here we
just point that out.
Well, the story ends way worse. So as we're walking out, I'm not paying attention. I'm on my phone. Here comes. I see Joe and Maul stand to the right. It's like a whole crowd coming out. I'm not paying attention. I'm just being oblivious to shit. I'm walking. I bump directly into Beyonce. I didn't even realize it. I was just like, but it's one of the moments where you look up and you just look at someone and then you directly look at their significant other and just to see Hove's face, he's just like, oh yeah, my bad. Sorry. And then you just see Maul 2 seconds later, oh yo, what up? Oh, what up, Maul? I'm like, wait, what's happening right now? Like, like what's happening? Like I'm sitting up here like, yeah, I just bumped into them and it's awkward. Like everyone's looking like, oh, you're the guy that did it, huh? Like one of those things.
Word.
But I keep hearing that though. That was my point, is that anytime that people talk to him, he's just very humble and very like I'm scared to get to that level of wealth. Like, but I want it. Does that make sense? Like I want to be that happy. Like I see people like that don't literally just wake up and don't have a care in the world. And I think that that's beautiful, but
you can feel it.
I wonder what the trade-off is to have that though. Like think about it. What is the trade-off to be that wealthy and that well off? What are you giving up? Outside of your soul, because that's coming. Yeah. That's coming. Yes, you've done some bad business deals. Yes, you've been shady to get. Listen, that's business. That's business. I know. My old manager got fired from the person that she hired. It's business. He saw opportunity and said, "Hey, yo, fam, I need your job." and muscle.
Wait.
It's business.
Manager got fired by the person she hired.
Yeah.
Shout out to that person. Who is that? Who is that?
I don't want to say it.
Jesus, Erin, is that you?
No, it's not Erin.
Oh, I'm like, God, what boss is this?
I could see Erin.
Somebody's a boss.
Yeah,
all right.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm just saying, I see it happen. I see it happen a lot. I see it happen, and I just look at it as being business. But I always wonder, like, especially when I talk to so many different artists and even like creatives. Like, I think we all kind of have like the same kind of struggles when trying to create and trying to position ourselves and shit. And then you'll see like somebody out of your, what I look at is like classes, right? Like of podcasts or just people that are coming up, right? And I look at them and I'm like, oh, you sold your soul there. I look at it. I see certain things that people are doing, like clickbaiting or not really trying to make like real good content, like have like a real dialogue. Like they'll be quick to be like, yo, I'm trying to go viral. I'm out here doing whatever. And I just feel like, is it worth it though? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You see organic.
Absolutely. $1 billion, absolutely.
I have a soul for sale. If it's worth $1 billion, easy choice.
Easy choice. So all right.
Easy.
So let's put this into Avengers Endgame rules. Soul Stone is worth $1 billion. You have to kill one of your loved ones for $1 billion. Are you taking that?
I'm cool.
Loved ones? Why you gotta make it a loved one?
That's what
I got a cousin or two that might.
A stranger.
I got a cousin or two that might.
Technical.
I might have.
Naji, relax.
$1 billion?
$1 billion. It's like I said,
A loved one?
It's
cool.
in-game rules. Somebody that you love, you have to kill, and you will get, as opposed to getting the time stone, you're gonna get. I mean, not
Can't
time
kill a
stone, soul
loved
stone.
one. I could do a stranger.
No, that's not the point. You don't love them.
Easy.
You're changing the rule. So what you're saying is you just wouldn't do it.
A loved one, nah. Can't do
Okay,
it.
so that's my point.
Can't do it.
That's my point.
No way.
Can't do it.
Money isn't everything.
As I'm saying, I love my dog, but he'd have to go for $1 billion.
Nah, man.
He'd
How
have
about
to
a
go
family
for $1
member
billion.
I hate?
I love my dog. But
No, it's the feast of purpose. Stop trying to change.
I can do a family member I hate.
Clearly, that's easy. But what I'm saying is that changes the rules of the soul. Why am I arguing? You know what I'm saying?
Can't do a loved one, man.
What? That's the point of it.
Too much.
All right, never mind.
No, I'm just saying I can't kill somebody I love. That $1 billion wouldn't mean shit at that point.
For
man.
$1 billion? I
how many loved ones do
was
you
about
have
to say, how many
left?
loved ones do you have?
Left. How many are left after?
Well,
Not
let me
that way.
rethink this.
Well, no,
I sound like a scumbag on here.
I can think of
Everybody's hating me like this bitch.
I can think of some family members I could offer.
Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah, it's tough. But I just think, I think it's just.
Come on, hold on. Y'all gonna act like y'all don't got that one cousin or something that you never talked to. You've always had a beef with for
Balance,
years
bro.
as
Man,
a kid.
I-
Don't matter.
Let's keep it a
Don't
buck.
matter.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's not love.
Yo, I'm tripping you
Don't
off
matter.
the cliff and collecting my check. Direct deposit, B.
Yo,
You guys are gonna get some strange looks at the next barbecue, man.
that's fine.
Because now all your cousins are gonna wonder which one it is.
But that's the great thing. They wouldn't be at the barbecue. Don't fuck with them.
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Wow.
You gotta have 100K to get
And
in
I'm
my
joking.
barbecue
Yeah,
after.
you see what I'm
After
saying?
you're a billionaire, you just start switching up. But
You're on Hove's list, right? I know.
Nah,
Yeah, I
you know what? I think the ill shit about the billionaire thing though for me is like I like that Hove is empowering community because I just feel like as black people we're sort of, and I don't think it's our fault just because of history and everything that's kind of going into it. But like when you look at other communities, like whether it be the Asian community or the South Asians, like the Indian community, they own, like if you go into a Subway, majority of the time you go into a Subway, those people are like South Asian, whether it's like Bangladesh, whether they're Indian, and that's because they put their money together, they buy shit, and then they pay it back off, right? So it's like us five, we in here like, yo, let's buy a Subway. We each put up 20K. It's 100,000. We put up 20K. We buy the Subway. We employ our people. We do that. You pay the money back. We own shit. Yeah. We don't really do that.
We don't.
We don't at all.
Why?
You know what it is? And I outside of business and outside, I think it's a cultural thing. Because I think that there was something that somebody said to me, and it's always stuck with me. He said, I can't think of who said it, but it'll come to me. But whatever it was, they said to me, yo, guys, or women rather, like God, the powerful guy. Everyone wants to be the powerful guy. Why? Because the women like the powerful guy. So what happens is when you put, when you're put in a situation where you have to compete, that's what it is. You're not thinking of, oh, let's uplift. You're thinking of the power that comes with whatever you're trying to attain. And because of that, your natural instinct is to be competitive. And so because of that, you don't align. You go at. You try to destroy. And then you'll reconcile. But by that time, it's not going to make no difference because you've already done what you've done to get where you are. I think that mentality still remains today, even in what we do now.
Definitely.
But that's not even correct, though, bro. Like,
I'm not saying it's right. Let me be clear.
Yeah,
I'm at no point, but I understand it. I understand. I think about your natural competitive nature, your natural, especially for people like I think about I think about a lot when you think about stuff like that, Kobe, and even Kawhi right now. Do y'all see, like, for me, I think his press his pregame interview was interesting. No dap, no nothing. Like,
what's up with that nigga?
Yo, but you know what it is? I feel like, and people have said it around the league, like they say, yo, he really has a Mamba mentality. Like, he's one of those people that has a killer mentality, and you could see it. Like, she's like, hey,
fam, you a weirdo, bro. Come on, if a nigga give you a dap, come on. I'm trying to get inspired for the game. Give me a pound, nigga.
I think
Christ.
that he keep it. I used to be like that though, like
not giving your people dap.
Just focus.
No, like before games, I needed to be in a zone. Like even when I was doing shows, I like while everyone was off and in the mix, there's times I'm sitting in a corner, I'm chilling, I'm not drinking, I'm in a zone. But I believe in manifestation too. Like I believe in you sit there for a minute and just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And you envision exactly what you need to do to get busy. And that's how I live. Even till this day. I drive over here, I'm quiet, I'm chilling. And I'm just thinking. So when you see shit like that, I don't look at it as weird. I think that he's in a mode. Because you could see it even in the interview. Like he's like, you broke all these stats, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yo, I just want to hoop. Like, I don't care about those. Like, I'm trying to win. Yeah. I'm just trying to win. And that's why, for me, I kind of connected with it. Now, is it a little unorthodox?
Definitely.
It's a little unorthodox. I think.
That nigga's an iRobot, bro.
I do. That nigga is. I do think that he is a cyborg. I like, even when he shows emotions, I almost feel like it's
bro, even that
like
laugh, it's like he don't know how to laugh.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. And that's what it is. I just think that instinctively something inside of him is telling him, all right, you should laugh probably right now. Go out, like you need to show something. And I think he's working on it.
He's an alien, bro.
He's working on it.
I think he's a Martian. But
Space Jam 3.
But even still, if that's Martian-like, I'll take it. I would love him to have him on the Lakers. Let me be clear. I would take him on the Lakers immediately. I would not have a problem taking him on the Lakers.
Are you a Laker fan from New Jersey?
Yeah, I am.
It's not happening.
Wow.
I'll give you a Snapple fact. Kobe is my favorite basketball player outside next to Jordan. I followed Kobe all throughout college and into the league. I naturally became a Lakers fan, and because of that, I've been ride or die ever since. I do support the Knicks. Go Knicks. I support y'all, but y'all ain't, y'all with us now. Y'all ain't shit. So, but that's my thing. I understand the mentality. I think that certain people have it. Like, but they said that about Jordan. Think about it. Y'all, you heard stories. You heard stories where Jordan was punching people in the face.
He punched Steve Kerr in the face.
Yeah, like he wasn't about no games, especially during playoffs. Yeah. If I'm him, now that I think about it, if I'm in the playoffs, like, and we weren't even supposed to be there, hey fam, we not joking. Like don't dap me. Let's go out and kill. Like I'm ready to set it.
Yo,
off.
if I give you a dap and you look at me, I'm never gonna dap you again, ever. Ever. Every time I see you, I can't even be
extending my pound ever again.
Yeah, well, I'm not that intense.
The nigga was standing, he just looked at his shit like.
There go Kawhi, just look at him. Don't even put your hand.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But then they say he was like superstitious or some shit like that. Like he didn't want to give him dap for fear that like his whackness would rub off or some shit like that. I don't know. Right? I could have sworn that's no shade.
That's fucked up.
I thought that's what they said. I don't know. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
All right, before we get out of here, who do y'all think? KD is supposed to come back for well, this episode comes out Tuesday, so you guys have already. I think I've already messed it up. All right, whatever. KD will be back by now by the time you hear this, so that means that this won't matter. But let's say that we don't. Right? Do y'all think it's gonna matter KD coming back? Because I was talking with this radio girl from Toronto, and she said, "Oh no, it's not gonna matter." I said, "Yo, Clay's coming back though." I said, "Clay's coming back." She said, "Oh no, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that." Oh, and this was her gossip. She told me. So she said that KD is injured, but it's an Achilles injury, and he's not saying it because it would ruin his free agency. So they keep putting it off as a knee injury or calf injury, but it is in fact an Achilles. Now, I don't know if that adds up because, again, he's supposed to come back Monday, but that was what I was told on the rumor mill. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you get traded with an injury, they send you back. That shit happened with
you got to do medical before they do the trades.
Yeah.
You got to do from Celtics. Went to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard happened with that. He had an injury before the Spurs, shipped him off, and that was a big deal.
Thomas.
Klay Thomas?
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, Isaiah. Oh, yeah.
He got traded when he was hurt.
You're right.
They didn't disclose it.
But that's what it was. That's at least what she told me. She works in that field, so I believed her. But now I'm gonna call her and probably tell her she's a liar.
But low key, couldn't this work in KD's favor for the Kawhi situation?
Oh, 100% could. 100% could.
I mean, he gotta take whatever team he goes to.
But that's
back to the chip.
but
like,
that's
year,
but that's what I'm saying. That's why when she said it to me, I was like, oh shit, that makes kind of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. You hold off for a little bit. You could go make some moves and then figure out the rest of the situation.
Yo, if I'm KD, I don't play at all for the rest of the season, and that's
I don't see the point.
That's just because one is like you don't want to further injure whatever it is, right? That's one. But then two, people are really out here saying the Warriors are better and can do X, Y, and Z without Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Now, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Y'all heard the interview. The nigga said, you know who I am. I'm Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
He said it twice, just in case you ain't hear him. So I'm just saying is, for me, I'm that kind of guy like, y'all motherfuckers think y'all can do it without me, then show me.
Yo,
prove it.
The funny shit is, anytime I see them in the hallway shit, I can't think of what that shit is called, but he's dapping them like, oh, y'all got trash.
Exactly.
Y'all good, right?
He always peek around the corner, so he be like.
But he always looks mad happy, like he's excited that they're losing. Oh, y'all lost another one? That's crazy. Yo, we'll get him again.
Dog.
He don't even look genuine. Like, he's just chilling.
I don't think this is Achilles, though.
I don't think so either. That's why I'm calling her a liar.
That's an ender.
That's not it. Well,
you can't get cleared with an Achilles.
He's walking fine.
walking.
Like when he walks, like I've seen Achilles.
I've seen, but remember,
but he was limping. That was a
Kobe
bad,
was
like,
messed up.
yeah. But Kobe played. He did two
Kobe
plays
shuffled
and then
across
still
the floor,
still hit two free throws and then walked off.
Different type.
You
of
But Kevin Durant is walking with a pep in his step. He's smiling. That nigga's like,
he's mad hype.
I can't wait to get to New York.
Yeah, he's mad hyped.
Facts. Yo, KD, shout out to KD. I'm going to buy you a drink when you come to town, baby.
Yo, that's on Ho's bill, huh?
Nah. That's on Spotify and Grassroots Podcast.
I'm the only one who was jealous that I didn't have a Hove story, man. I wanted to go around, hit a Hove story. I ain't have one,
You got a
man.
Royce the 5'9" story.
I don't have a whole story.
I guess. But we all got that. It's not even special.
Yeah, but yours is pretty funny. I won't say it on air. Yours is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Your Royce the 5'9" story is funny.
Yeah.
Do we have enough time? I'm curious.
No, we can say it. We can say it off. We can say it off air. We out of time.
Yeah, off air.
All right.
All right. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you guys for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe. Grassroots Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Be sure to hit the notification button to be notified for our latest to the greatest episodes. I want to thank our guest Naji for coming on.
Thank you, man.
Family.
Thank you, brother.
Obviously, Bam, Wylson. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's it, right?
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Damn, I don't have that's the way to go out. Peace. Grassroots.